Srimad Bhagavadgita Adhyaya 2 Shloka 19. Ya enau vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha na hanti na hanyate. In Vedanta, we use two terms, kartritva and bhoktritva. The word kartritva is translated as doership. Doership. The status of being the doer. Identifying oneself as the doer. I am the doer of any particular action. I did this. I did that. It is kartritva. Doership. Another word is bhoktritva. Bhoktritva means enjoyership. The status of being an enjoyer. When we talk about enjoyment in Vedanta, it is not always the enjoyment of pleasure. Generally, when we say enjoying, we mean a pleasurable experience. But in Vedanta, when we say enjoying, it is not necessarily pleasurable. It includes both pleasure and pain. You enjoy pleasure and you enjoy pain also. Any experience that gives pleasure and pain is called enjoyment in the Vedantic terminology. So, enjoyership, the status of being enjoyer, when we identify with any pleasure or pain, when we identify with any pleasurable or painful experience, it means we are enjoyers. I am happy. I am sad. It is enjoyership. I am suffering. Enjoyership. Bhoktrutva. So there is kartrutva and bhoktrutva. Doership and enjoyership. These two are very much related to each other. Both coexist. When you are a doer, you are also an enjoyer. You do an action and you enjoy the result of an action. Therefore, kartrutva and bhoktrutva always coexist. If you are the karta, you are the bhokta also. Karta means doer. Kartrutva means doership. Bhokta means enjoyer. Bhoktrutva means enjoyership. If you are a karta, you are the bhokta. According to the law of karma, you receive the result of your own actions. You are the karta of a given action. You are the bhokta of the result of the action also. So, kartrutva and bhoktrutva go together. Now, this kartrutva and bhoktrutva entails certain problems. When you are a karta, you cannot be free from omissions and commissions altogether. A karta cannot always be perfect. As a doer, there are imperfections. Therefore, the doership is associated with guilt. When we make a mistake, we feel guilty. I did something wrong. We might feel guilty. After a few minutes, or the next day, the following day, or after a few years, I married the wrong person. This guilt happens after a few months or few years. That is why there is divorce. Nowadays there is divorce. Earlier there was no divorce. You repent all the time. So, kartrutva, doership, is associated with guilt. Impulsively, this gentleman uttered certain wrong words, certain unutterable words, and then he repents. Why did I do it? Why did I say so? There is repentance. Therefore, kartrutva, doership, is associated with guilt. And then there is bhoktrutva, enjoyership. Always we cannot have pleasant enjoyments. There are unpleasant experiences in life. The life presents various unpleasant experiences. Therefore, bhoktrutva is associated with hurt. I am hurt. The other people hurt me. My own body hurt me. Even our body can hurt. Not necessarily other people. Even our mind can hurt. Even our memories can hurt. Therefore, bhoktrutva is associated with hurt, the unpleasant experiences. All the unpleasant experiences in life that we receive from the outside, therefore, kartrutva and bhoktrutva, doership and enjoyership, are associated with hurt and guilt. It is one way of looking at the problem of life, the problem of samsara. Samsara is hurt and guilt. Hurt and guilt collectively form the problem of samsara. In fact, all our problems can be put under these two. And they are because of doership and enjoyership, kartrutva and bhoktrutva. As long as the doership and enjoyership continue, one cannot be free from hurt and guilt. Therefore, as long as the doership and enjoyership last, one cannot be free from samsara. Then what is the hope? The hope is revealed by the Vedanta. Vedanta Shastra says, your true nature is free from kartrutva as well as bhoktrutva. Your true self, the Atma, is always free from kartrutva and bhoktrutva. It is ever free from doership and enjoyership. Therefore, your true self, Atma, is free from all the problems. It is always free from all the problems. Always free from samsara. Atma is asamsari, free from samsara. If Atma is free from kartrutva and bhoktrutva, then why do we identify as the doer and the enjoyer? If our true nature is free from kartrutva and bhoktrutva, if our true nature is free from doership and enjoyership, why do we identify as the doer and enjoyer? Then Vedanta says, it is because of ajnana, because of ignorance, because of self-ignorance. We are not aware of our own true self. There is ignorance of our own true self. And because of ignorance, we identify with the body and mind. We identify with the body and we identify with the mind. Now, this body and mind, they are involved in actions. The body is full of activities. The mind is full of activities. When we identify with the body and mind, we also identify with the activities of the body and mind, then we end up becoming the karta, the doer. And when we become doer, we also become enjoyer because of our identification with the body and the mind. And the identification with the body and mind is because of ignorance, ajnana. Therefore, our kartrutva and bhoktrutva, our doership and enjoyership are caused by self-ignorance. Therefore, Krishna says, one who identifies as the doer as well as the enjoyer is an ajnani, is an ignorant person. An ajnani identifies himself as the doer and the enjoyer. It implies that a jnani does not identify himself as the doer as well as the enjoyer. Now, this doership and enjoyership is associated with all actions. Any action you do is associated with the doership. Whether it is eating or drinking or walking or talking, as long as you identify, you are the doer. I did this. You are the doer. Therefore, doership and enjoyership are there with respect to every action. Now, Krishna is negating the doership and enjoyership of the Atma with respect to all actions. Atma is neither the doer nor the enjoyer of any action. To convey this, he takes one action, and it is the action of killing. The action of killing. Krishna chooses this action because he is in the battlefield. And in the battlefield, the action of killing is most common one. most visible one. Therefore, he picks up the action of killing. He says, one who thinks that the Atma is the doer of the action of killing and the Atma is the receiver of the action of killing, the object of the action of killing. In an action of killing, when someone kills someone, one who kills is the karta, the doer, and one who gets killed, he is the enjoyer. He is getting killed, getting hurt, bhokta. One is karta, another is bhokta. So, in the action of killing, there is kartrutva and there is bhoktrutva. So, one who thinks he is a killer, the agent of killing, and also one who thinks he is the one who is getting killed, both are not aware of the nature of the self. Krishna says, Ya enam vetti hantaram yaha yah kaschit. Any person, any individual, enam hantaram vetti, enam atmanam, this atma, hantaram vetti, he thinks atma is the killer. Atma is doing the action of killing. Vetti, one who understands so. Yaschainam manyate hatam yahacha, another person. Enam hatam manyate, he thinks Atma is getting killed. Atma is the enjoyer, bhokta, of the action of killing. Ubhau tau na vijanitaha, both of them. Ubhau tau, both of them. Na vijanitaha, they do not know the truth. Means they are the ajnanis. A person who thinks he is karta, doer, as well as a person who thinks he is the enjoyer. Both of them don't know. Means one who identifies himself as the doer and one who identifies himself as the enjoyer. The both can be the same person, not necessarily two different people. Ubhau tau na vijanitaha. They are ajnanis. He is ignorant of the self, ignorant of the true nature of the self. Why? Nayam hanti na hanyate. Because the truth of the Atma is different. Nayam hanti. Atma does not kill anyone. Na hanti does not kill. Action of killing is negated. It implies the negation of all actions. Kartrutva pratishedha. Doership is negated. Atma is not the doer of any action. Na hanyate. Atma does not get killed. Enjoyership is negated. Bhoktrutva is negated. Atma does not become bhokta of any action. Atma does not become the recipient of the result of any action. And the result can be both pleasant or painful. Atma does not receive either. Neither the pleasant result of action, nor the painful, unpleasant result of the actions are received by the Atma. It is free from bhoktrutva, free from enjoyership, free from doership, as well as free from enjoyership. Therefore, Atma is free from hurt and guilt. Therefore, Atma is ever free from samsara, ever asamsari, free from samsara. Nayam hanti na hanyate. Therefore, one who understands the true self, one who understands the true nature of the Atma, he does not identify as the doer and the enjoyer. He does not identify himself as the karta and bhokta. Therefore, he is free from hurt and guilt. Even if the body is hurt, he does not feel hurt himself. Even if the mind is hurt, he does not consider himself as hurt. Therefore, a jnani is free from samsara, free from hurt and guilt, free from samsara, and freedom from samsara is called moksha. A jnani enjoys the moksha. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. Atma is free from kartrutva and bhoktrutva. Atma is free from doership and enjoyership. This statement needs to be substantiated with the reason. Why the Atma is free from doership and Atma is free from doership and enjoyership? Because Atma is free from all modifications. Atma is free from all changes. If one has to be a doer, one should have some changes. Doership involves changing. If I cannot change, if I cannot move, I cannot be a doer. Without a change. Therefore, doership involves some modifications, some changes. A non-changing thing cannot be a doer. Similarly, to be enjoyer, to be a bhokta, there has to be some modifications. Without modification, without changes, one cannot be a bhokta. Therefore, since Atma is free from changes, since Atma is free from modifications, the Atma is free from both kartrutva and bhoktrutva. This verse gives the reason for the statement in the previous sloka. Atma is free from modifications. Atma is free from changes. According to one great rishi called Yaska, Yaska has written a work called Nirukta. In his book, he has talked about six types of modifications. There are six modifications. They are called Shadbhava Vikara. Shad means six. Bhava Vikara, modification of any object. Any object can undergo six types of modifications. Jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, and nashyati. These are six modifications. Jayate, it is born. Birth is the first modification. So before birth, the object was not there, but then it comes into being. Jayate. All our bodies have this modification. Generally, we think we have this modification. We are born. It is a common way of understanding. But when we come to Vedanta, we should have clarity regarding this. We don't have birth. What has birth? Body has birth. Therefore, the date of birth is not our date of birth. It is body's date of birth. Jayate. Then asti. After jayate, asti. Asti means it survives. After birth, the body survives. Even survival is a modification. Survival is not static. Survival is dynamic. The body is surviving. It means there are so many activities going on in the body. Heart is beating every second. Lub-dub, 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 lub-dub. Heart is beating, pulsating every moment. There is a lub-dub going on incessantly. It is survival. And we generally think, I am here. But to be here, lot of modifications are happening. The machine is working 24/7. If the machine stops, even for a fraction of a second, there is no more asti. It will collapse. So after jayate, there is asti. The body survives, fighting against all odds. Every body is fighting constantly against various bacteria and virus, including coronavirus. Nobody can say there is no coronavirus in the air. The air is full of virus, bacteria. We are able to survive because our body is fighting them constantly. So asti, it survives. Then vardhate. Only if asti happens, there is vardhate. Only if it survives, it grows. See how the modifications follow each other. Only if there is jayate, there will be asti. Only if it is born, it will survive. Sometimes it may not even be born. If it is born, it will survive. So if it survives, then it can grow. Eats more food. A part of the food is needed for survival. Little extra food, then it grows. That is why some people don't grow, because they don't eat the extra amount of food. So vardhate, grows. Then there are other modifications. Viparinamate. There are changes in form, changes in appearance. After a particular age, growth stops. The body does not grow after a particular age, at least vertically. There may be horizontal growth, but not vertical growth after a particular age. But then there are other modifications. The appearance changes slowly. Voice can change. So many changes happen. It is viparinamati. Viparinam. Transformation. Then apakshiyate. Apakshaya. Deterioration. Teeth start falling. Hair turns grey and hair starts falling. Certain parts of the body stops working properly. Knee pain, joint pain, the joints stop working properly. Every part of the body starts showing its presence, and every part of the body starts seeking attention. I want attention, I want attention. It happens after a particular age. When we were youngsters, we didn't think much about it. I have this gland, I have that gland, I have a thyroid gland, I have a pituitary gland. People are generally unaware of it. But when apakshaya happens, people become aware of it. And slowly we start understanding more and more of anatomy. We start Googling out. You have problem in pituitary gland, then we Google what is pituitary gland, what is its function, what hormone it secretes. Only then we know the presence of it. So various parts of the body start seeking attention. Apakshiyate, deterioration. Then nashyati. Nashyati. It comes to an end. Destruction. These are 6 modifications of any object in the world. Our body has all 6. Certain things may not have all the 6, but they may have at least 2. Jayate and nashyati. Birth, origin and dissolution. And then there are in between. Some of the in between things, some of them may not have. So 6-fold modifications. Now Krishna says, the Atma is free from all 6 modifications. Atma is free from all Shadbhava Vikara. Shadbhava Vikara Rahitaha Atma. Atma is free from all the 6 modifications. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.